Nice.
Was it Christmas for the day at Town Hall?
Yeah.
In your car in the parking lot?
No, on the kitchen counter.
Oh.
Call Dan, have him run it down.
I actually thought about that.
Well, I'd like to welcome everybody here to yet another meeting with the Charter Review Committee. Today is the 15th of December. We're at the Paxton Public Safety Complex, and I note that everybody is present, and we shall begin. The meeting is now open. We have a quorum here. The first order of business, I want to just take a few minutes to clarify something that is going to come out at some point. I just want to make sure that we're doing everything correctly. I know there's sometimes a feeling that, Paxton, a little small town and probably not high on the list of anybody. Well, it is high on the list of us. And the bottom line is, I know that government in its enforcement roles, whether it be the AG's office or any other government agencies that oversee, they don't really care if they're talking about a town that's, got 5,000 people, 500 people, or 50,000 or 500,000. And the reason I bring this up is just because I'm in the process of going through something a couple of articles ahead of this, and that's shoehorning some stuff in that I had just put a placemaker in relating to the rules, regulations, policies, and procedures that are going to ultimately, hopefully, make their way into the charter relating to the conduct of appointed boards. Things like, the definition of executive sessions, how those work, and how long that they can be, and when they must be turned out. Things about public records, and how we can either be public record custodians, even though there's a record keeper, by default, or by making a mistake, or doing a procedure, or whatever. And to that end, it's kind of interesting that it took me 13 pages worth of my legal research notes on Massachusetts Municipal Board's procedural requirements. And specifically, I'm going to refer to just in this, because this is not on our radar for a little while here, but the minutes. We do a good set of minutes. I shouldn't say we do a good set of minutes, but Megan, you did a great set of minutes, and Paul's doing the same thing, a great set of minutes. And I know that I had a conversation like this once upon a time with the former chair of the board here, talking about what is the procedure or process when we have documentation. In other words, in this particular case, as we go through each of these proposed amendments and we deliberate based upon what the information is at there, that makes it a public record, subject to the same thing as a birth certificate or anything like that. That is a public record. And there is a law that is very, very clear on how public records must be kept and handled. I don't think it's a good idea, and I have suggested in other circumstances that town boards and commissions and committees and all that really should not be in the position of being public record keepers, because if you were to be a public record keeper, because the board itself keeps public records and doesn't give them over to the town clerk, then what ends up happening is you have to be subject to inspection, you have to have a climate-controlled area, and all that sort of thing. So the way the committees and boards and commissions and all that stuff get around it is you pass it on to the town clerk or the record custodian, which is the town clerk. And I think there's an assistant custodian who might.
Right now, so it's myself, our town clerk Lori, and then Eva.
Right.
For police.
I checked that out. So the bottom line is, if we have a proposed draft article, like we have one today that we're going to look at, and we want to avoid ourselves being the public record, within the realm of being public record custodians, which opens up a whole can of worms, then we have to make sure that we are putting the public records that we have, and we're not keeping them. That's why there's a little concern I have, and I've had it for a while, but it's not something I haven't researched and found out that we're in compliance. But the Google Drive that we're using to put our stuff on, that would be a public record if we don't turn around and make sure that we have something else that is a public record and openly a public record. Otherwise, everything we do on those things will be, subject to open up to everybody. In fact, 10 days request. They can make a request 10 days after minutes to ask for everything, including documentation of what we do. There's an issue then if we don't attach or don't include, for instance, in this case, before we get to the articles of legislation here that we're going to talk about, if we're going to accept the meeting minutes, we have to accept both the report, which is another section that I won't talk about tonight, but has a lot of things that are supposed to be done, and we're doing them right. But we have to have those documents attached as part of that, and they have to be voted on as part of the acceptance or amendment approval of the minutes. Just saying that we moving on and, okay, we finished, this one, the definitions or whatever else, isn't enough. So what really are going forward now should be is we have our minutes, and we should also have attached to it, in this case, it's 13 pages of what appears on the Google Drive for me. And this is what needs to be certified, and certified just means it has to be signed. And under the present facilities that we're set up, we're following, which is not, it's not codified, but it will be when we do it in the charter, and it's probably, it's definitely best practice, but it's something that will, somewhere along the line, the select board designed this, is that these have to be quote-unquote signed by both the secretary, which is when you say, minutes submitted by Paul or minutes submitted by Megan or whatever. And then when I get them, I put a bottom. If you ever go online and look at the town website, you'll see that I've put a bottom on it that they were, submitted, that they were, posted and all that sort of thing. So I just want to make sure that going forward, we understand that when we're looking, and like tonight maybe, when we're looking at accepting the minutes, we have to be accepting not only the minute page itself, but any attachments. And if we don't want to attach this, then we run ourselves as saying that we're holding public records. And if we do attach it, then we're not holding public records because we have brought them into the milieu of the public record holders. And if you take the training on it, at least if you take it starting in March, I may be your instructor.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awful? So, that being said, I will open the floor.
Clarifying questions or follow-up or?
Yeah, I'm gonna open the floor to that, and then we'll go on. Please. You, sir?
Nothing for me.
Megan?
Not yet.
Okay. Paul?
I just wasn't sure if, the document that we had worked on last week, we still had all the strike-throughs. It was sort of it was our working document in that we agreed on the content, but I didn't know that it was, hadn't been edited or formalized, or I didn't realize it was a public record. And I guess I'm not sure what the definition of a public record is and which of our working products are public records or which aren't. Just so I have clarification about how to accurately.
Well, the open meeting law is one of those things that's actually we have to have read, and we got out the manuals, and they kept all that.
Let's just answer this question directly, though, right? So based on the last meeting, what would he need to submit? Is that your question?
No, is that your question?
What is a public record and what is not a public? From our working
draft a
documents,
public
like is a
record?
draft a public record?
The general, and I won't give you the language but I would refer you to general laws, Mass General Laws 30A, Section 18 to 25. I would tell you that the definition, the working definition is any document that is created by a municipal state, regional or county record, a board or body, because that's part of the open meeting law. Basically, the definition is in there, but beyond that, it goes a little bit further. Under the same general law, a different section, and the regulations of the Attorney General, both of which we've all signed and got and all that sort of thing when we were sworn, a public body must create and maintain accurate minutes of every meeting, including open and executive sessions. Guidance commonly used by municipalities specifies that minutes must include date, time, place, members present, members absent, decision and actions with vote records, summary of the discussions on each subject, and a list of all documents and exhibits used at the meeting. Since we use that proposed draft as something we were working on, and since we accepted it at the end, you can have different versions. You can have, this is draft 1, this is draft 2 versus, and all 3 of them will be, all right? So what we need to do, we just need to basically make sure that when you're doing the records and when I do the records, that we have the attachments of anything that we used. And the selectmen do it very, very well, and I'm not just saying that because they may hear me. They do it very well, because if you look at the meeting materials, they have everything in there. I mean, when you go to a select board meeting, and if you do your due diligence, you will find everything that they're talking about, any piece of paper that they're referring to or whatever. And so I just want to make sure that, I am unfortunately kind of a dotting I, crossing T type of guy. And that doesn't mean I'm trying to be picky or anything like that. At least I hope nobody feels that way. But just if we do this, then we'll be golden. And that also means that when we get the meeting minutes and we start talking about approving them, we should be prepared to say, yes, and I've gone through not only the minutes, but I've also gone through this, and I don't see anything I want to change. Okay? Any questions?
Yeah,
Megan, you look like you have something.
I do. So essentially, maybe it would be easier for your minutes too, is instead of writing out all the discussion, maybe, you could say, see attachment. And we could include and make sure we're saving this as,
This is
we're
already
doing-
a public record.
yeah, if we're doing a draft today of the third Article 3, save it as draft 12/15/25, and that's your attachment with all the edits in it.
Sure. But then when we go to accept it, we just have to, it's like today, we're going to say, accept the minutes, and does that include this? And, the 13 pages, which I printed off from the, and if it doesn't, if you hadn't had a chance to make sure that this is what you wanted, then we'll just go,
Yeah, we're basically accepting that those are the edits we captured.
right. Not saying that this is the public record that's going to be going to the,
Yeah.
the town meeting. It's what we're doing this. Because again, keep in mind, and I think this is important, we're going out there and we're going to be doing it a lot more formally and a lot more organized as time goes by. But we're telling people, hey, we're going over what you told us and plugging it in to a document that ultimately, hopefully, will go to the select board. And then what they've done with it, we'll take it back and we'll go back to you and say, hey, have we got it right? And then hopefully if we get it right, it's just like the same thing when we talk about, we're writing and I'm doing, drafts and stuff, but I'm not going through it to make sure it follows either the House and Senate's council requirements for capitalization and all that. And we're not going through because, frankly, I'm just sitting it out there trying to get the document out there. But, at some point in time, Megan's going to, have everything ready. And it may be it's probably something we should do at the end. Once we have all the articles written and everything like that to put it in there. I know maybe Chuck, you're doing some of it as we go. So, that's great. The bottom line is, it doesn't have to be in a particular format. It just has to be there. Okay? And Paul, that's,
Great, if that's all we need, let's, I mean, we've got 20 minutes on public records, so if
Well,
all
it's-
you're trying to say is let's include the
good.
document next time, I can do that, I'll be more than happy to.
no, and the only other thing I just want to make sure is, again, talk about we're just being, I think the word is pedantic, but just keep in mind that although public records and open meeting law are two different statutes, they are very intertwined. And there's no criminal enforcement of an open meeting law violation. They're just fines, and usually the first thing is a slap on the wrist and all that stuff. But violation of public records can be something worse. And later on, when we start going on and putting some of these things in there, I don't want to have people saying, well, you're telling us in Article 12 that, us, I mean, if you look at some of the other boards and committees to see what they do for their minutes, it's the same thing all the time. They can't possibly just be doing the same thing all the time. Be that as it may. Moving on, at this point in time, are we in a position to amend, accept, or approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting, which was 9 December 2025? Or do we need any additional time to review the attachment part, which is, and that's,
So should I amend them to include the attachment, the printout that Dave has in person, or should we just do this next time? I can send them out.
next
And
time,
approve
is
it.
by, well, it depends.
Vote on it next week
I've
when
got
I
it
send
ready.
them out.
This is what I will send to the town, if we approve it, including the 13 pages, so it'll be 14 pages total. If I send this to the town clerk tomorrow, I can only do that if we're all ready to say that we approve the minutes without a change, and we approve the proposed draft without any changes. So if anybody wants to take some more time, I don't need you to submit any more, I got it.
Is the attachment the glossary,
Oh, God, yes, yes,
but nothing else?
right now, right.
Okay. So those are all the things that we had already gone through and approved internally, subject to any future changes. Then I don't have to review the attachments if that's what it is.
Okay,
That's what it is.
that's what it is.
And it's just the glossary, not the previous
No.
versions of the introduction and other pieces.
Okay. Then I'm in favor of make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second,
Second.
any comments, discussions? Thank you for your patience. And so,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The meeting minutes for our 9 December 2025 meeting are approved and will be forwarded to the town clerk forthwith tomorrow. The next thing on here is comments on any old or new business. I've already taken a lot of time on the one comment I had to make, so I have nothing else to say. We have the town administrator here. Always a pleasure to hear anything you might have to say. Do you have anything to say at this time?
Thanks. No, we can proceed to editing.
Okay, town officials. Gary, anything from you?
Not at this time.
Okay. Paul, anything from you
Nope.
at this time? Chuck?
Nope.
Megan?
Nope.
There, we'll move on to section 4. We will resume reviewing the proposed charter drafts, the ones that we have out there for you guys to look at. Number 1 is the exercise of legislative powers. Let's see what we can do with that. And it's on the screen. It feels nice to be here. Not to say anything bad about the library, but it just feels more comfortable here. I'll start by saying that I haven't assigned this one out or offered it out, so I apologize that I haven't done that, but I will do the next one. But Article 3, exercise of legislative powers, proposed draft is now before us. Section 3.1, legislative powers. Anybody have any comments, questions, or suggestions for changes or amendments or whatever?
I did on this section. Only because as I read the whole section, it was specific to the town meeting.
Yes, because the town meeting is the legislative body.
Okay. So I guess I just wanted to define that maybe under legislative powers and maybe call that out. I just think we need to put town meeting somewhere in there. I know it says,
It says, okay, where would you propose to put it?
yeah, so I was thinking, I just want to call out right away in section 3.1 that legislative powers and maybe in parentheses, town meeting.
Well,
Well, the very
Says
first
that.
line says the legislative powers of the town shall be vested in the town meetings. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, it shall be vested in, but I guess I didn't, it's not clear that that you're saying that the legislative powers are the town meeting.
well, they're not
that true?
just a town meeting.
Okay. What else could legislative powers be?
Anything that the town moderator does, he could order, the town meeting itself can create things, but legislative, understand that we have the judicial system, which isn't part of this because the town doesn't have any judicial functions. But it has executive functions and it has legislative functions. When we talked about the incorporation in existence, we talked about the legislative powers shall be vested, and we talked about the, and I know this was a while ago, so it's not, and the legislative, this is just a reminder, okay? Legislative powers are the town. That means that the town has the power to create law. The select board does not have it. We don't have it. We can propose laws, but the town meeting is the entity that will decide whether or not a law is forwarded on, or even in some cases becomes a law because it's only a municipal law. So keep in mind that all legislative powers of the town are not vested in the town meeting. Certain ones are, all right?
So that's where I was going. If there's things that are legislative powers outside of town meeting, this just looks like you're only talking about the town meeting.
The town meeting shall provide for the exercise of all
All the
town powers.
sections underneath it are specific to the town meeting.
Yeah, because that's what this is about, the exercise of legislative powers. When you take a legislative power and you do something. I mean, I'm fully understanding that it's not as open. I mean, the only thing that I can suggest is that we kind of look at it and see, this is
Yeah.
how the town exercise. It's like the next one coming up will be a section of how do you exercise your elective powers.
Sure. Maybe it's instead of section 3.2, maybe where I'm hung up is maybe it needs, could it be, or should it be, section 3.1A, eligibility,
I
because
will
it's
never
still
do
part
that.
of
I
town meeting.
don't believe in going to A's, but yes, I could do 3.2 if you want it to be something else, but what do you want it to say?
Well, you're talking, okay.
I mean, basically the second,
But you're saying that there are other legislative powers besides town meeting. So
There's-
the eligibility, when we talk about the eligibility, it refers to other legislative powers.
no, it refers to who can come to and participate as a voter at town meeting.
Right. So are there other legislative powers we should be documenting?
Not in the exercise of legislative powers.
So then I think,
Okay.
as Chuck added, town meeting next to legislative powers
Yeah,
helps spell it
that's all I
out,
was-
that this is pertinent to,
Specific to the town
you know,
meeting.
Yeah, so I added a hyphen, town meeting after legislative powers.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at is.
Okay.
Could be other legislative powers that are not, that don't mean these things.
this is specific to the town meeting.
Correct. Just so we're clear.
And there's nothing, why wouldn't we spell that out? That if people are looking for town meeting conduct procedures,
This is it.
why not have it as a bold section heading as opposed to legislative powers, which most people, lay people in town aren't going to be like, oh, the town meeting procedures should be underneath legislative powers. So I think calling out, this is specific.
Okay, so other than the adding exercise of legislative powers dash town meeting, are we satisfied with this next?
Wait, are you talking about the article heading, or?
Well, that's where you put it, right?
No, I put it section 3-1,
Okay. Yeah,
legislative
okay,
powers.
section
dash
3,
town
Pat
meeting.
1, legislative powers dash town meeting.
Are you saying we should put it in the Article 3 heading?
I don't know, that's who's going to
Well,
be
you
next.
actually, you
Yeah,
could.
would you
Could
rather?
we?
Could, yeah.
Could we do exercise of legislative powers, town meeting, and then everything underneath in this Article 3 pertain to town meeting? Because do we need to document any other
Yeah, when we
legislative
describe what
powers?
the town moderator can do.
Yeah.
but
As it relates to the
to
town
be,
meeting
to
though,
be
right?
coming, I mean, it's forthcoming. But This particular Article 3 is vested in the exercise of legislative powers. The exercise of the legislative powers, not by the town moderator, but by the voters of the town.
Yeah, no,
Okay, so that's what this is. So I agree, it could go, if you want to put it there, and I have no objection to that, I'm not gonna, but you can put it in the exercise of legislative powers dash town meeting, or we could put on a section 3.1 legislative powers dash town meeting.
I like where Chuck had it up top under Article 3, so that all the sections now below pertain to the town meeting specifically.
So like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's clear.
Anybody else have any comments, thoughts?
No, it's clear, it's clearer. It's
Okay.
fine.
And
I had a comment on the term registered Paxton voters.
Yep.
In the glossary, we refer to it as registered town voters. So if we're tying those two terms directly together, should we, for the sake of consistency, have registered town voters here?
Okay. But I think we say in the town, didn't we define town as Paxton? So that becomes town and Paxton are
Synonymous.
synonymous. Thank you, Gary. I was trying
But then
to
you're creating an additional step, right? If we were talking about registered town voters, that's what we refer to in the glossary, registered town voters. So I assume that ties directly to this.
All right.
This ties directly to that. So why wouldn't we use the exact same terminology? Is there a drawback? I don't know.
No, we'll put, do you want it to be all registered town voters or all registered Paxton town voters?
Registered town voters is the term in the
Consistent.
glossary.
Just stay consistent.
What would you like?
Town voters.
Okay, it is.
And that goes for the first line of section 3.2 as well.
Are there any other changes to 1?
Wait a minute.
I don't have any other changes for 3-.
3-1.
right.
Okay, was there another, so we've,
Does anyone else
Added-
have 3-1 changes?
No.
okay, but you did say were there 3 or 2 changes that we're making? One is the town meeting up in the Article
Yeah.
3 line, and the other one is we're going to say registered town voters.
Right.
And I'm sorry I jumped in.
That's it.
And now we're
We can
in,
table that.
now we're in 3.2.
Okay, 3.2, eligibility. This is more definitions and more clarification as to who can be a voter at the town meeting and ergo exercise the collective town power, legislative power, to accept or reject appropriations and articles on the warrant and all that sort of thing.
I was wondering about the amount of days before the deadline to shall require voters to register no later than 20 calendar days.
Yep.
Where does that,
Where does
How
that
did-
come from?
yeah,
Well, because you can't have people standing in line at the town meeting registering to vote at that point in time, because you
Sure.
have to give the Board of Registrars of Voters time to verify their residence.
right,
All right, so it has to be a limitation of some sort.
sure.
All right,
I'm
20
just
days.
suggesting 20 days seems a long time, and
Well,
we could probably
20
check with the Register of Voters and see what an appropriate amount of time is, but I'd be in favor of as short a time as possible to not, I think shorter amount of time between registering to be able to actually vote
Well, 20.
helps
20
encourage people to vote. If it's like, oh, I need to know about this 20-plus days in advance, that limits participation. So I would be in favor of the shortest amount of time possible.
So you like 5 days?
5 business days, or again, I would maybe get input from the town clerk of what's a reasonable
Well,
time frame to do
You
their
gotta
work.
keep in mind, you gotta keep in mind something, okay? Number one is, this is consistent with what other charters do. 20 days is the,
Sure, but we get to make our own choices here, right?
yes, but we also have to consider it in terms of Massachusetts state law.
Sure, that's why I'm wondering, is there an
20 days.
obligation? Is
20
that,
days, 20 days. I didn't,
so it is a Massachusetts state law.
no, it's a best practice recommendation.
Best practice.
All right, if you want to change it, then you have to give me some reason why we should.
I just expressed my reason.
Well, I did, but I'm saying that the reason that I picked 20 days is because A, it's a recognized best practice. B, it's because that's the way people do it. And C, keep in mind that if we don't have something that's consistent with when you can register to vote, because we don't have the power to decide when people can vote, we have to take the day we put in there and we have to hang it on state law that says this is what the procedure is for being someone who can be a registered voter in Massachusetts.
Sure.
That requires, I mean, there's a whole statute on
What's
it.
our current practice? What's the town's current practice?
The town doesn't have one for this.
So when we see a sign that says outside, we have a town meeting coming up and those that need to register must do it by a certain date,
Yep.
they're just picking, that's,
No, the town clerk puts it up on the board.
right, but based upon what number of days?
So right now, for our special town meeting that we had on December 1st, our voter registration deadline was Friday the 21st, and Lori was in the office from 9 to 5 that day.
Right.
So that people can go and register to vote. So,
So it's 10 days then?
Yeah.
yeah, it's 10.
But you don't want to put, first of all, registering to vote, okay, is a state statute. It has to do who can register, who can actually vote. If you register, right, if you attempt to register,
Are we talking about registering to vote right now, or? are we
that's what
just
this
talking
is. You
about-
have to be a registered voter to vote at the town meeting. There's no difference. You're a registered voter, all right? There's no separation between a town meeting voter
Sure.
and being a registered voter.
Right, but we're just talking about the 20 days right now is what.
If
we're
you
trying to
don't like the
figure.
20 days, what do you
I
want?
don't like the 20 days.
Well,
But what do you
What do
want?
other people think?
It's 10 right now.
Yeah, and is that 10 for the
No,
regular
it's
town?
10. That's what she did for 10. If you go back and see,
The
you'll
most
notice that
recent, the most
sometimes it's
recent example
different.
is 10.
I'm sorry?
The most recent example, it seems like, is 10.
Right, but how about the 10 before that?
What was it,
Well-
do you know what it was for our town meeting back in May?
So I'm looking, when we had the special town election for the override, that was September 8th, and the last day to register was the 29th of August,
Again, we're talking about 10 days.
which is 10 days.
Do you
And
want
then-
10 days? Does everybody want? Will everybody be, that will not be consistent with the state law about registering to vote, but to vote in an election. But if you
prefer
want
10
10
to
days,
20.
we'll go ahead, we'll do it.
Yeah, I'm with Paul. We want to reduce hurdles for participation, right?
I'm sorry?
We want to reduce hurdles for participation in the town. So if we, rather than make it more, the 20 days makes it more difficult for people than it has been.
Correct.
So why would we want to make it more difficult? I'm all for 10.
Okay.
I'm assuming we must have to follow some sort of law by posting 10.
Correct, yeah.
So you are following rules by doing
Yes,
so.
Lori stays
Okay.
open until 5 o'clock that day for anyone to
Okay.
register to vote.
So if that's
Okay.
historically what we've done and it abides by the law, should we
Well,
keep 10?
let me now bring your attention, and I want to bring you up to section 3-15. The town of Paxton, unlike other towns and unlike the best practices, does not have a calendar with a definitive placeholder for the date of closing the warrant. The closing of the warrant is something that has to happen, and then there is a state statute that says when you close the warrant, the town meeting for which you're going to consider that warrant has to be a certain number of days. So considering that we don't have, at this point, if you look at the political calendar, which you probably have a copy right there, you will see it's got to be determined, and that is not good. When the town opens, all right, a warrant, the select board are acting on that right then and there. It should be something so that the select board is reacting to the law rather than creating something that fits. That's the whole idea of this. Now, depending on what they want to do, all right, and depending what happens when it goes through the AG's office to be reviewed, we need to be consistent. I have no objection. If you think that it should be a lower number or a higher number, by all means, not later than in 20 days, keeping in mind that this is for a special town meeting or the regular annual town meeting, all right? Whenever you want to give the registrars of voters the time they need, and you want to not have the scenario where people are standing up there saying, because remember, everybody who comes to the town meeting doesn't get an opportunity to speak. They have to be recognized by the town moderator, and they have to be a registered town voter to vote.
Yeah.
So if you think 10 days is better, I mean, I'm not imposing anything. I picked it out for
Yeah.
rational basis, but if you think it's not,
I just think it's consistent with practice. So if,
the practice, it doesn't exist.
well, it sounds like it does.
Most recent two examples. Yes, I think we all, Gary, I don't know if you have a preference. It sounds like,
I think the issue that you raised about the warrant, I think that's different from the issue that we're raising now about the registration for voting.
right.
And I'm in favor of keeping it similar to what we're doing now as the 10 days.
All right.
As long as the town administrator is not telling us that that is not sufficient time for the registrar to take care of what they need to take care of.
Yeah, so I don't see that as a pain point right now, but I'll definitely follow up
All right.
with Lori.
That would be the concern that's raised by Dave, that we're giving the voters enough time. Now we've got to make sure from an administrative standpoint that we have enough time to take care of it.
Correct.
All right.
Thank
Just
you.
remember, when you go to that town meeting, you stand up there and they ask you for your license or they ask you for your name and date of birth. If your name doesn't show up on that list, you don't get to vote.
That's what we're talking about
Right.
here, isn't that?
So
what
do you
we're-
want to tell people that they have to do it 20 days before they stand there?
No.
You want to have them 10 days before they stand?
I'd like to have 3 days, but
All right,
it
let's have it
sounds
3
like.
days, unless-
Honestly, I mean,
All right,
that's
but
not, I'm
then
not,
they
the-
register-
Then it will be a
They
bit.
register
Right.
to vote on a Thursday.
I think 10 is a good compromise. I feel like 10 is where we're at here. I think we can move
Paul,
on.
think about this.
What-
We can't move on because we haven't settled yet.
We haven't settled on 10? You're
You
objecting to 10?
you have it 3 days, okay?
No,
we
I'm
don't.
saying 10.
No, we
I'm
do not
saying
have
10. Does anyone object to 10? Can we move on? We have a lot to do. We can't be spending
Well, thanks,
20
Paul. I
minutes on
appreciate
something that
that.
can be
I
done in.
appreciate it. We have a lot to do, but we got to get, this is, if you want to put 10 in there,
I do. I want to put 10.
all right, anybody else want to put 10?
Yes.
All right, it's
That was
10.
10.
All right? Just remember, start and think about how, you don't like the idea that I have something to contribute? Fine, I'll continue on. Next paragraph, go ahead.
So the issue that I have with the paragraph that begins with the non-residents, again, I'm going to current practice. I'm just not aware that there is a section in the town meeting where the guests and non-voters would sit or stand.
Well, you know,
That was my question too. Is there like a section for them?
Probably.
yeah, it is necessary.
Because I feel like you have a clicker or you have a number, and that shows that you can vote. And as long as the procedures follow that, we're good.
Well, no, it's not just talking about voting. It's talking about being heard. That's why you get up there and you say, you know, I'm Dave Johnson from Richards Ave.
Right.
All right?
So,
People who talked, there were people at the November town meeting,
Right.
all right? The not this most recent one, but the one that was the abysmal thing, which was when they were talking, the zoning board was trying to get through zoning definitions and things like that, where we had so many cars there that people had to park, you know,
By the pond, yeah.
by the pond and all that. There were people who were in the back, standing up there, being allowed to vote, who didn't identify themselves or didn't state where their
We had
residence.
the clickers that night.
But that was voting. They were talking. They,
Well, you just said vote. Wait.
no, you can come to a town meeting and not be a voter,
Right.
right? There were people there who were coming to the town meeting. They were speaking, but they did not have the right to speak.
Were they recognized by the?
Yes. One of the
That gives
people
them
who
the
was
right.
there, I know to be a resident of Leicester, who came up there and multiple times said things and was allowed to speak because, you know, let's face it, they were just shouting out words. And they were being recognized, not by a formal recognition process, but that, sir, I'll give you a chance to speak. That's recognized, okay?
Yeah.
They didn't have the right to speak.
But that, I don't know if we have to. So we're talking
Again,
about
if
the
you
shot.
don't-
Enforcement, that's more an
so
enforcement.
I'm in favor of that paragraph with the sentence that says, "All guests shall sit or stand in a designated section." That sentence being removed.
Okay.
And the reason why I think that we've given the power to the moderator to control the decorum within the town meeting, And if we need to make it clearer to the town moderator that, no one's going to be allowed to speak unless they are granted the opportunity, and made clear that they are
They
voting.
typically say their
resident of
address
town.
when
Yeah.
before they speak.
So I think I'm good with the fact that they can't vote. I'm good with the fact that they can't speak or take any part of the discussion without consent from the moderator.
Unless they just shout out.
Sure, unless it's unruly, and then again, it's an enforcement mechanism. and
Correct.
not
That was an
necessarily-
aberration, though. I don't.
Yeah, I agree.
Not usually.
That was an aberration. I love it.
I am questioning the term non-registered voter citizens. What is that? What is that? What are we trying to communicate with that?
So someone could
Yeah.
be a citizen of the town,
But not be
but
registered.
not a registered voter. So someone who's moved to the town recently,
Or someone who didn't get their voting, their registration.
In time.
10 days.
yeah,
They only have 4 days.
But is there a better, non-registered voter citizen seems to me.
But you want them to have 10 days, but they only
That
have.
raises additional questions, right? Is it?
well, no, but they can't
Well,
vote,
Yeah, right.
right?
Oh, no, I completely, so they can vote.
But they can come to town meeting.
Yeah,
So we've already established the people, registered voters can attend.
yeah,
Sorry?
We've established registered voters can attend.
and vote,
And vote.
yeah,
So now we're saying who else can come?
right.
Non-residents of the town,
And voters who are not registered can come.
And
but
non-residents.
if you're not a voter, you can't come. So.
No,
You can come, you just can't vote.
You can't vote.
Citizens not registered to vote may come. I think that's what we're trying to say.
Yeah,
Not, it's just a different way. Citizens not registered to vote.
Yes.
Citizens who are not registered to vote may come.
Yeah, as long as they check in with the town, get the
Correct.
town moderator's approval.
Or maybe we want to say residents who are not registered to vote. I forget
Well, no, because they
the
don't have to be
actual
resident. What if you have the reporter from the
word. Well,
landmark?
we have non-residents and, so we already recognize non-residents. We're trying to recognize,
The non-registered voter citizens.
correct,
They're citizens, but they are not registered to vote.
residents,
They can be allowed to speak and have standing to speak.
right,
They
think
just
that's
can't
it.
vote.
correct.
So they should be allowed to speak, but they don't have a clicker in their hand, assuming that we use clickers.
So does this work? So, and residents who are not
that's-
registered to vote?
Yes.
So it's non-registered voter citizens.
Dave,
I don't think that should be deleted. So you want
So does that mean that if you're not a voter, so a 14-year-old, could a 14-year-old come?
no, because they can't be a voter, at least until the legislator turns around and makes a 16-year-old can vote. But right now, you have to be 18.
can they attend?
They can attend.
Yes, they can.
Yes.
Yeah, so that
You know,
description now
if
says.
they want to hear what's going on at the high school, if something's going on, they're more than welcome to attend.
Yeah. Heck, if they want to have something to say in the
So Dave, are you okay with this change or not? I'm not, it sounds like,
non-residents of the town and residents who are not registered to vote, all right, may attend Paxton Town meetings as guests. Okay, with the consent of the town moderator or by majority vote of the town meeting. Is that what says what you want to do?
That's a little clearer to me.
Okay.
I like that a little better.
Does, how it's written right now, though, does that mean that our moderator has to be out at the check-in table with those people, saying, yes, they may come in? Just how it's written right now, that's kind of how it seems to me.
Yeah, you're right. It seems like there has to be an additional step.
No, the town clerk has a job, and the town clerk and the board of
Yeah,
registrars and
determines-
voters are supposed to
Yeah.
do the, if you will,
The
culling
check-in
of the herd,
process.
you know?
Yeah, well,
Which is in the
all
next
right, yeah, the
section.
check-in process. But just how it's written up there, it seems like the consent of the town moderator or by majority vote of the town meeting. So
Right.
that's for just attending it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The town, the clerk will have somebody, let's say that I go to a Holden Town meeting.
Correct.
And I just want to see what's going on there.
Oh, I see what
Or
you're
they have,
Yeah.
I go to the Holden Town meeting, I'm standing out there and I walk in, I'm not a resident. Well,
Correct.
sir, you can't attend, but I really want to because this is a topic, right?
I see
And they
what
can
you're
say,
saying.
okay,
You're gonna go
let me
in and
go
ask?
check with the town moderator and see if it's okay. That's how that works.
that's how we want it phrased in there.
Will that slow
That's
down
how it works in
registration?
practice.
Yeah.
So now we're putting it on the people at the front table.
To then
It's
go-
already their
check.
job.
Yeah, but now we're saying they have to go to the moderator to ask
Yes,
if
that's
that
their
person,
job. They have
to
to,
ask if that person can come in, instead of just saying, hey, you're welcome here, but you don't get a clicker or a card because you're not a registered voter. You're more than welcome to go in, but you don't get to vote or talk. But they don't need to go talk
Right.
with the moderator to say that.
no, because
correct?
you can exclude I mean, again, you can exclude anybody who's not a town voter.
Yeah.
All right, if you want. If you're gonna let somebody in, right, it has to be done, but the town meeting moderator runs the meeting. The Board of Laurie will determine when the quorum is met and then tell the town moderator.
Yeah.
And the town moderator will then open the meeting.
Yeah.
But he may want to let it go a little bit longer because he sees it's a long line.
Yeah.
But the same thing is true. Laurie will tell the town moderator, hey, I got somebody here who wants to come in. Well, why do they want to come in? Because they're with the Worcester Telegram and Gazette. Oh, okay, let them come in.
Okay.
All right? I mean, it's not like an overwhelmingly,
Big
burden.
That's what I was just asking, because
Yeah.
if there's 20 people, then you're going up for, 20 people instead of just having a blanket statement.
Could he,
She could ask him generically, what do you want, before the meeting?
Yeah.
I think that's the
Okay,
key.
there we-
But
Yes.
that's up to
What's your interest?
The
What's-
power to let these people in
yeah.
comes
Lies with the moderator.
once is the moderator and the town meeting at some point in time. I could get up and say, Dave Johnson, Richard Saff, I want to ask permission from the town moderator to bring my brother from England in here just so we can watch democracy in action. All right, I can do that.
Okay.
Thank God
I like how it's written because the moderator can go to the clerk ahead of time and say, hey, we're just going to let everybody in. Or if it seems like it's going to be a raucous
Conversely,
meeting,
yeah.
he can say, you know what, we're going to do it on a case by case.
Yeah.
So I think this is written in a way we can allow for both. But you're right. We don't want to put the people at the front desk in the position of, oh, Chuck's 14-year-old daughter is here. Let me go check.
Yeah.
Oh, so-and-so is here. Let me go check. So
Yeah.
it gives the moderator the freedom to do it ahead of time, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, that's something that they have to work out themselves, how they're going to do it.
Okay.
All right?
All right, we're good.
All right. Anything about the guests may not speak? Any problems with that?
No, I'm ready to go on at 3.3 if everyone's good with the rest of it.
Okay, 3.3. Gary, why don't you open us up with the check-in requirement?
So in terms of the language, I did not, I mean, in terms of my notes, I didn't have any comments on my end.
I had, sorry.
Go ahead, go.
I had concerns about the election staff shall also provide each voter with copies of informational material, because that could be a huge waste of, if we have to have a physical copy of every single thing being discussed for every person that requests one, that's like a huge, hundreds of thousands of paper, that's a lot of waste of paper.
Like
So I think it should be made available. It should be, they shall make it publicly available or known or posted.
Okay,
at
how about
public
if we do
places,
this?
but I don't think requiring.
I had the same concern.
It's
How about if we say upon request?
I think it should be posted. I don't even know about, because again,
So
how many,
it's
how many copies should they reasonably expected to be provided?
We printed off 175 for that one in December. We had 111 people show up.
Yeah.
So
That worked.
it
However,
works,
but
but
how
we
many
have
people actually-
64 of waste, unfortunately.
Exactly, and how many
'Cause I
people
don't-
actually wanted them versus just, took them? 'cause
I
they
just
were
don't know
passed out,
how many
and-
people are showing up, so that was
Sure.
where we,
All I know is that at the November one, when we had more people, the town, there's an annual report kind of thing. Not
but
the annual
everything
report.
is available online.
Okay.
So when we do the warrant, it's posted clearly on the website, so it's there. We project, so it's up there, so we're never trying to hide anything. So, but to make it easier for people to follow along, and in case you haven't had the opportunity to read it on the website, that's why we'll try to provide you with the printed copies. But I would love for it not to say every single person has one, because we don't ask for pre-registration. I have no idea how many people are showing up to that. So it
Okay.
makes it very
But
difficult to
How
fulfill
about
that
the
request.
scenario where they don't have enough copies to give to people that want copies? That's a scenario that becomes a problem.
Well, yeah, I definitely don't want that scenario, but
Considering
we
the amount of
might have to
documents-
have you look on with the person next to you.
Well, but
Or a
look at
QR code with the materials.
Or
If it's all
follow along
online.
broadcast.
Because the other problem is when you're
Yeah.
talking about zoning laws, like, we can't print out all the zoning laws.
So there was one thing in there, it was over 100 pages. I can't print
Yeah.
that off.
So this backs us into a corner a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
So how do you want to say that people have the right? This is a conflict of conflicting. People have the right to have a copy of it. We also have them required, it has to be posted on the constables have to send it out. It has to be posted on the town bulletin board. We're going to throw Richard's Memorial Library and the post office in there, AKA Carlos.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what
And
we do.
people should do that. But how many times do people come in and say, I want a copy of something? Well, if they don't have a copy, then like they did before, is they say, hey, can you look on we ran out of copies. All right. The whole point of it is, if you say something upon request, and then you have a reasonable number. I mean, if you have more than enough, that's great. If you don't have enough, that's not so good, because
So in that instance, when I have 175 and I have no idea how many people are showing up, I only give it out to the people that ask for it until I realize, okay, only 111 people are showing up, and then do my best to disperse them accordingly.
I think it's a great idea to ask, do you want a copy of this? I mean, because keep in mind, at the annual town meeting, you're going to have a lot of stuff. You're going to have piles of paper.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about.
But,
Yeah.
so you should have, let's just say we took a look at the two of the past special town meetings and said, okay, it's 10 days to get registered. Okay, well, let's take a look and do the math on how many of these things you gave out over the past 5 years worth or
Sure,
whatever.
and this is sort of, we're like operationalizing. it.
Yeah.
I don't know that we need to put a
Yeah.
number or a requirement on here. I think we just need to make it.
Well, it is a requirement.
Sure.
It is a requirement.
To make information available, but I don't think we should spell out how many copies you need to print out for a meeting. I
So-
think you guys
Put the
do
burden
your
on
job
the
and
voter.
and know how to
Isn't
do
it
that.
just put in the two words? The election staff shall also provide as requested?
Yeah, upon request, any materials, and we won't say required.
But what if they run out of copies and
There's
they
no
don't have the
rush.
ability to do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
What if they're out of copies and
What,
it's,
what if we just said the election staff shall provide voters with copies of informational materials and published municipal reports relevant
Yeah.
to any warrant articles
Well-
published prior to the meeting? Due to limited resources, we won't print all, but if, we don't, this is too long, but like, we could put a little disclaimer that says, if you can't access it or you have problems printing it, they can be available upon request.
And it's available on, like you mentioned, it's available
Yeah,
up on the
'cause-
screens.
But if you,
Screens, websites.
I mean,
yeah.
everything's paperless now, like,
Yeah.
even bills. Like,
I think we want to say, like you said, that the information will be available online 10 days prior, like the.
Yes.
It's posted 10 days prior, right? This will be available online. Limited copies will be available for those who can't get their own. Because some people don't have a print, some people can't.
Yeah, some
So
people
I think we
can.
have limit, but if we say upon request, if somebody comes and requests it and we're out, then we're in violation.
Yeah, if somebody reaches out and says, I have,
Well,
it needs to be made available.
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
just say made available? Is that enough?
Then we're not defining.
Exactly. Let's
It was
not-
available
It was
10 minutes
available
ago.
electronically.
Yeah.
Is it available a hard copy? How? I mean, it's covered.
I'm fine with that.
We're just trying to promote transparency.
So the election staff shall
But it doesn't have to be
make
in a hard-
available copies of information materials? Is that how you want it to read? Available, take out the phrase.
I don't even know
I
about
don't think-
copies.
I think
All
she'll-
informational materials.
Okay, can I just make a comment?
I'll take make available.
I think everybody's got the idea, but you're not reading what it says. This is not permission, this is not educational materials. This is information that you need required to vote, which is the hardware. It's either the electronic clickers, it's the colored cards, or paper ballots.
No, that's in the sentence before that.
Right, so the copies of informational materials and published principles relevant to any warrant articles, if you don't want that to be there, all right, let's get rid of the whole thing, and then you guys make the determination how many you print out. And if you don't have some, you can try to make a reasonable accommodation. You can point them out to this thing here. What I'm concerned about is making sure that they can vote. You're talking about, can they vote intelligently? Well, if they can't vote intelligently because they haven't done their homework, we'll do the best we can, but I don't think we have to start talking about a number of how many things you have to have printed, because how are you ever going to do that?
Well, no, that's why
Yeah.
it raised a
By
flag for
saying
me,
upon
because it said
request,
each
you're
voter.
basically committing to providing
Right.
as many as necessary, then you have to think through.
My point.
But I want to shift the burden onto the voters and say, hey, this information is going to be available online prior to the meeting.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still,
And we should advertise
Make
it.
available all informational materials. So take out, also provide each voter with copies. Just make
Yeah, so-
available all information.
the election staff shall make available all informational materials and municipal reports, take out the word published, relevant to any warrant article.
And then, yeah, that's good.
So that way, it could be in person, could be online, it could be QR code.
Well, and it
whatever
already
is.
has been made available
Right.
prior to the
Yeah.
meeting.
Right.
And, it wouldn't be bad if you had like a bunch of, but you understand, like one of these meetings, town meeting warrants and stuff, you could have 400 or 500 pages on the whole
Oh, yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's,
So,
Yeah, that's why we're saying we wanted to change that language, because that's crazy to put that
So
burden on.
my concern with this, though, is a lot of people will read this and think it's going to be available at
Correct.
the meeting. So I think we have to put some type of disclaimer in there saying, shall make available.
Well, then maybe it's more publicly broadcast or public, display in public, or
put it on the signboards.
maybe it's just, how do we?
It's
maybe we don't even
everywhere.
want to.
On the town website? So can we say on the town
Yeah,
website?
well, it's supposed to be posted on it, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
very
Sure.
specific.
So-
it always is, yeah.
And it is.
Prior
Laurie
to
does a great
meeting
job.
On the town website, shall make available all information materials, blah, 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 any warrant articles prior to.
Well, yeah, if you really want it, you can go to the town clerk's office before the town meeting and ask for copies of
Of any of it. Yeah.
everything.
Would it be available, do we have to do a time frame? Do we have to say 10 days prior? Do we have to?
No, you probably,
Can we just get rid of that then?
yeah, that's,
If we're baking it into stuff that
Yes.
we already have to make the information
already have.
available in order to complete the warrant correctly. So would you be comfortable just getting rid of that line?
Yes.
With this whole line here?
Yeah.
see, I
Oh, I
we-
see what you're saying.
Because there's already procedures.
It's
for
already
this.
baked into
Done.
how we have to post the warrant.
I mean, let's face it, the town is not trying to hide anything at town meeting.
Yeah, I just don't want to print off 100
Which I think
extra
you have
forms.
in here already. It's like the last page.
It's a best practice thing, and I like to
Yeah.
have best practice things in there so we can
Yeah.
cut them to pieces.
And that's where that
So I can go back to the best practices people and say, hey,
Yeah, and just because it's not in there, I'm still going to print off what I think is a reasonable number or what I expect to have at that meeting. So.
So part of our.
this job that you have has got a lot of stuff to do.
Part of our preamble was to also incorporate, technology, et cetera, et cetera. So we're doing that by getting rid of the copies.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could always set up a computer that has, and have, okay, here you go, sit down at the computer, and
Yeah,
Right.
review it.
by the time you get through reading the zoning board article, you. Okay, anything else to say, or I'm in full agreement with everything that's been said and on section 3.3. Anything else to say about that, or shall we move on to 3.4?
Moving on.
Move on.
Okay, who wants to open the discussions on that?
I'll open it. This
Chuck.
is a simple thing. So I'm just the wording, just to be consistent again, all checked in, registered town
Town voters.
voters.
Okay,
So I'm
so,
deleting of the town and putting in registered town voters.
okay, fair enough. Anything else?
It's just more, I don't want to open a can of worms. The word municipal legislatures was just not a definition, so I just thought, where do we define that?
Well, that's kind of, legislators are people who can vote, and
Goes back to
municipal
our
means
kind
of the town.
legislative functions.
Yeah.
You want to have that in the,
No.
I mean, I thought it was kind of straightforward, but if you want to put it in the dictionary or whatever we call it, glossary.
Can we delete municipal? Can we say shall be the
because
legislators
then
of the
you
town
talk-
meeting?
No, because the legislatures are the people that can vote in, the Senate and the House and like that. You don't want to think like they can come vote just because they're.
We're saying legislators of the town meeting.
We're all checked and registered town voters shall be the legislators of the town meeting.
You want to get rid of municipal, the word?
Yeah.
Anybody have any objection to that? Hearing none, we'll move on with municipal being deleted. Next sentence.
Well, delete it up top too, section 3-4, here.
The heading, Chuck.
Got it?
Yeah.
How about if we make that legislative functions as opposed to legislator?
I didn't have any other issues with that.
Any problems with the power that they have to?
Opinions and convictions, I mean, can we just pick one or the other? Sorry. No, it's fine.
Is there a difference, is there?
It's redundant, but it's okay.
It is redundant?
Well, I mean,
They would be redundant if they meant the same thing.
sure.
Legally, there's two differences.
Anyways, I'm sorry to bring it up. Let's.
Are we moving on to section
You
3.5?
gotta pick your semantic battles.
Yeah.
I have an opinion that dress looks horrible on her, but I know that I'm convicted that I'm going to buy it for her. That's all I can think of. Okay, anything else to say on 3.4?
No.
No.
Okay,
Moving on.
voting methods. And we will have something to say about this one, but 3.5, voting methods. Who wants to start this discussion? Paul, let's get you in. Anything there?
I mean, it seems like the clickers is our current function, so I would probably just lead with that. But I mean, it's pretty minor, and
Leave it out?
no, I would lead. I would
Lead.
use that's what we're doing.
I think it's
current.
fine the way it is,
But
because
sure, I have no changes.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, that was my question too, is are we implementing something where clickers are going to be the only choice for voting?
No.
That's a town moderator's decision.
Okay,
We don't have them. Rutland bought
Yeah.
100 some odd of them.
yeah, but I felt like clickers should be first, because I feel like that's the most,
That's our primary method,
yes,
right?
that's our primary method.
But
It also
we're
is the
also
most
leveraging
accurate.
Rutland's resources, so I don't know when that well dries up.
Well, Rutland got a good deal. If they could
So,
get all the other towns to get into it, maybe they'd get Rutland's.
I don't see the order making any difference. It's given options A through D.
okay, so then if we're keeping these as is, then instead of C, on C it says and, it should be or instead of and. It's not
I'm
and.
sorry, what?
Yeah, that should be or.
Where's the or? Did I see something?
The end of C. I would propose that we eliminate C, simply because standing and sitting for some of our older voters becomes an issue. So why would we do that over raising hands?
Okay, let me just suggest to you that if we remove anything here, we're removing something that is in the acceptable means of voting. So if we remove anything from that, then we're going to go against what the town meeting guide says from the Secretary of State's office, that these shall be the acceptable means of voting. And I got to tell you that at this point, clickers is not 100% decided, because there is an objection to the use of clickers that's being made by some groups, and who knows what the legislature will ultimately do, but clickers mean everything is now a secret ballot. And the whole purpose of a town meeting is geared to the idea that you can look and see who's voting and what their vote, how they're voting. Now, I think it was said, and I've heard it said many times, that that's a good thing, because you don't necessarily want your neighbor to know that you're voting against something that they're for, or vice versa, because of the aggravation it could cause you. Clickers are lenient, but some people are saying, I have a right to know, so I can picket them. I can, or try to change their mind.
So you're
Whatever.
proposing we eliminate that? then?
No, I say, just letting you know that clickers is not necessarily something that will survive, but for now, it's there.
So
But
now-
I don't think we should remove any of the other ones, because those are acceptable means. And the town clerk, the town moderator is the one that has the power to decide which one to use. And he can use every single one of them if he wants to.
So I have a question about A. Now, I've been in town meetings where the moderator says, oh, this carried the day.
Yeah.
And then there was a vehicle for someone to say, wait.
Yeah.
I don't think it did. And there was a, is
Yeah,
that vehicle still in place?
X amount, 10, I think it's 10.
I think it was 10, yeah.
I think it's 10 voters can say, I challenge that and require one of the other options. Yes. I can put that
Oh,
in.
just a count. It didn't go to the other option. It went, they did a voice count at that point.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it was like, yay, nay, and he said, all right, the yays have it. And people were
Yeah.
like, what?
People don't like that. And I can yell a lot louder than a lot of you, so,
Yeah, so is there a vehicle
yeah,
in here somewhere?
I can put it in. I will put that into the town meeting. I can. I think if you think it belongs here, I think, it probably.
I don't know. I just want to make sure that's still. 'Cause
Yeah, I'll put it, I didn't put it in here, but I have it written, so. Yeah, so a challenge, yeah. If you don't think you're there and the town moderator declares, yeah, I agree, you have a certain number of voters, Chuck and I believe it's 10.
10 to 20.
I think it's 10, it's really low. But they can get up there and say, we challenge that. And the town moderator, whose decision is final, can say, no, but if they challenge it, then they have to.
So is that just on the voice votes? Is that like a separate thing to add that we would add under voice vote procedure, or is
No, it would be a
Where does
challenge to
that-
any, it would be,
any of them?
it'd be any 10, here's what it would read, it would be a separate, it wouldn't be a DE or anything, it would be another thing, it would say, any 10 voters who do not concur with the town meeting's conclusion can challenge by verbal motion the validity, and the town moderator shall.
revote?
So we
Votes.
need to add that then under D as
Yeah,
another
I'll
paragraph?
write it up and.
So maybe note that, Chuck, under D, it's saying add clarity on,
Add challenge, add voter challenge.
yeah.
I'll send that out to you, you
Yeah.
can look at it.
And Chuck, can you just get rid of the 2 periods after A and B?
Where?
Oh, yeah. Stylistic, yeah.
Well, he's got it too, because I left out 1 and C, so now that's,
No, they don't need to be there. The other thing I was wondering, I had written this one down, is decides the result by sound. Shouldn't it be result by ear? I know it sounds sort of self-explanatory, but we're not talking about some sound that's in the room. Like, there's not a buzzer that goes off. There's not like, I know it's kind of obvious, but just the sound is his sound, right?
well, if
He's listening by
you're
his
going to
ear.
determine
Well,
anything by sound,
ear now.
you got to use your ear, so I guess it's kind
Well,
of,
no, but we're not saying like.
we're really getting into the weeds on this one.
You're thinking like volume?
Yeah, like I was saying, is there something somebody's gonna? I don't know. It just said the word sound was like not really working for me.
That's the least favorite. These are words out of the town meeting guide here. But, if you would, A is the least favored. But if you have a situation where it's pretty damn clear there's only one person that says nay, like, somebody comes up to make a statement and they're up there and you hear everybody in the town meeting going, groan, groan, you pretty much say that you can get away with a voice vote. But I understand what you're saying. The town moderator decides the result by sound.
That's fine. We
By
can leave it.
ear.
I'm fine. I don't know. Yeah. I was just being specific on the sound that he was
Any
listening for.
changes other than what we've talked about? And the addition that I'll
Just
write
do me a
up?
favor, could you just scroll up a little bit? Because there was something that we had when the handout, when you first come into the room, you hand out some card.
Yeah, colored cards.
Just go by there for a second.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So is
Oh, the
that,
cards aren't referenced.
is that mentioned in terms of what we just spoke about?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Good point, Gary. What are the colored cards? Or are those for voting?
Yeah, well, it's a yay or nay. If somebody, if you're for it,
You raise
Well,
their
then we
hand
should have
with their-
yeah, we
with
could
the-
put that in.
mentioned
Show of
in here,
hands,
or
standing
remove
votes.
Colored cards from.
Okay, yeah, I'll put that, that's good.
Yeah, like with, what would the language be?
Show of colored cards.
Is it a show of, instead of hands?
Yeah, show
essentially?
of colored cards.
Show of hands.
These are really good.
So do you get rid of show of hands? Because
No, because that's one of the ones.
it is.
Oh, so it's a whole new,
It's better than, I mean,
But the colored cards, that's easy, an easy way
You're holding
to,
'em? Like you're holding the colored cards and you're.
yeah, you hold it up, so they know that also prevents non-voters from.
correct, yeah, that's
You
what,
can't just raise your hand, you have to hold your voting card.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
show of hands with colored cards for.
Yeah, that's essentially it.
For
I mean,
opposed or in
Show of
favor.
hands, and then you have those, remember they have the counters coming around going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay, I've counted 6 people with their hands
Yeah,
up.
yeah. So that, just with colored cards, does that do it?
Yeah, colored cards.
Does the colored card say on them yay or nay? Like, do we have to
It
tell?
doesn't matter, because they'll say, if you're in favor,
Okay.
raise your hand, and then they do it.
Oh, it's one color.
One's green, one's red.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Oh, I don't know.
It's
No,
just
no, no,
one
it's just-
color.
You get one card,
That's a
they
budget
say all in
appropriation
favor, and you
pending
put
that
it
we
up.
can afford to get the town.
then you
Yeah.
put it down and say all opposed, and those people put their cards up. So it's two different times.
So you
So
get
don't-
one colored card,
One colored card.
yeah.
singular.
Singular.
You hold up one, yeah. If you hold up 2, then you doubled it.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that all of these, and that's true, there's 2 more that should be added, well, 2 more things that should be added to this. But keep in mind, the town moderator makes this decision. They have the power to make the decision. You can't stand up and say, I want a voice vote. You can, but the town moderator is the one that gets to decide. Okay? That's why he gets the big bucks.
That was a good point, Gary. I had meant to
It
mention.
is really good. Anything else for 3.5? 3-5? No, hearing none. 3.6, anybody want to open the discussions on town meeting types?
So I'm just assuming that the dates and the numbers are all per statute or bylaws of the town, meaning the June 30th date and the 20% and 200 voters, that's all something that we're just not starting now. It's all here as part of our record already. If those numbers and dates are all set, then I have no objection.
And they should match our definitions, because we went through those dates and that number
Yeah.
in the definitions.
I have a question for everybody. Okay? Massachusetts general law does say that the first Monday in May shall be the annual town meeting date, but it does give the select board the ability to move the meeting date. Okay? They can postpone it and reschedule it, but our bylaw says it has to be. So it's kind of one of those things that, while it says here that it shall be this date in the state statute, but the select board can change it.
Yeah, that's what that's.
But the bylaw says it shall be the date. So there's a idiomatic conflict between the two. We can salvage that by relying on one, and I'm just putting the fact that there is a conflict there. But the pre-1991 town bylaw is not the same as the state law. The town has the right to make, in certain situations, make something that exceeds the requirement of the state, but they can't not follow the mandate of the state. So that's why I have both of them in there. And I got to tell you, it was a pain in the neck finding out where that statute was. Thanks to Laurie. Make sense?
Yeah.
He's going to stop coming to these meetings, I can tell. All right.
So wait a second now that you're asking that question. So the first sentence says there's two different laws, we'll call it, that's dictating, and they both say the first Monday in May, is what you're
Yes.
saying.
Yes.
However, the second sentence reads, "The laws of the Commonwealth allow the Select Board to postpone and reschedule to a different date as long as it's before June 30th."
No, as long as all the business is done. You can't, because June 30th is the end of the fiscal year.
Right.
And this is an appropriation thing. So basically, if you don't have an appropriation by June 30th, July 1st, you're in
Right.
trouble. Yeah, that's
Right.
what that is. That's
Right, but the second sentence gives them additional authority beyond the first Monday.
That's right.
So, but does that conflict with the bylaw, is what you're saying?
Yeah, but when there's a conflict with the bylaw is the one that goes away. In other words, there's two laws that say first Monday in May.
Right.
Okay? But in the state law, it says the selectmen can change that, just as long as they finish everything they have to do
By the end of June.
by the end of June.
So this is fine, I don't,
You guys
So
okay with that?
we couldn't say like second Monday, we can't change that, but select board can.
Select board can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it
Right.
does seem like the first Monday is early for our town meeting, because we're often waiting on information.
Correct. That's why we need to have that flexibility in there. But I think that if we're always shooting for the first Monday in May, and then we adjust from there if necessary. But like you said, it will never be past June 30th because then it's out of our fiscal year.
But I'm saying, if it makes sense to have it later, like if we usually struggle to meet that date, if we're often missing information on that date, can we push it back now? Or is that?
We can't push it back. The select board have the right to do it. And the select board, keep in mind, the select board are the ones that are going to know whether or not they
Yeah.
need more information.
Right.
Right.
All right? All right, so,
But I'm saying it's come up a few times, so if we have the ability to say, hey, let's do it the second, then that would make it less likely we would have to.
we do not have this.
But we don't have it. Okay.
Statute says, and the bylaw, it wouldn't be like the Charter Review Committee says, that would not go.
Okay. Yeah, no, that answers my question.
Special town meetings. Special town meetings, now you'll notice the number of voters for special town meetings is pretty high. I mean, the voters don't have a right to schedule the annual town meeting because it has to be held, and the select board have to hold it. But special town meetings are something that voters can require to be held. But it takes 200 registered town voters, or 20% of the total number of registered voters, whichever is the lesser number. Right now, we have what, roughly 3,500 registered voters?
Yeah.
So 35, that's going to be.
700.
I'm sorry, 600?
20% would be 700.
Okay, so the lesser number in here would be 200.
Right.
That's the only number that we can play with. Does anybody want to make that less than 200? Give the voters more power to schedule a special town meeting?
No.
Okay.
I've done one, and you just walk around the neighborhoods and you get them signed.
You can go to a town event and get 50 or 100 right
Yeah.
there. Yeah, it's possible.
Okay.
Don't make it easier.
Okay.
If it's important, then you'll figure out a way to get it done.
Just
Gary has spoken.
Mr. 200.
When we approach like the after hour mark, you open up.
Wait a minute. There aren't any. Did you say bar?
No, I said after the hour mark.
Oh, I
of
thought you
the
said
meeting.
bars. I'm going to say where's the
Gary
bar in
opens up and just lays down the law repeatedly. It's
I remember there used to be a bar in Paxton.
Burnt down.
No, I was thinking of the,
All right, let's go. Let's keep going.
We do, I mean, just again, what time are we adjourning and what else do we need to do?
well, we didn't have 90 minutes.
So we're still on.
Okay, but we also have to just get our calendar for January,
Yeah, we
and
do.
I don't know how,
Yeah, but
what else you have.
You know,
I have a crisis unfolding at work. I have to go back to work.
okay, quorum is 50.
Person.
That's by the annual town meeting, Article 38, which was passed by the town meeting in March of 1949. Anybody have any problem with a 1949 quorum of 50 people?
No objection.
which is roughly 33% of the number of registered voters.
Which is what we had in the definition, right? That was my only question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That being said, anybody want to make any changes to 3-7? Hearing none. 3-8. Oh, sorry.
Well, hold on, one quick second. In our definitions, didn't we define quorum in two ways?
I'm sorry.
Didn't we define quorum in two ways? I just want to make sure we use the same language.
Well, there's the quorum about committees and there's quorums about town
Correct.
meetings.
Correct.
This is,
Thought we
there's nothing we can,
had-
this is a special town meeting quorum, or any town
This
meeting
for
quorum.
majority member bodies, we did this.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something different.
Yeah. I think
That'll be in a coming
Yeah.
article.
Just want to make sure.
No, wait, here, town meeting quorum, yeah, so it is in.
50.
It's town meeting quorum.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was my point. So let me
It's
go
the
back
sa-
to that section. It
it's
should
the
say
same
town meeting
number.
quorum. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should, it should say 3-7 : town meeting quorum.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, should we consider raising that? So if we're basing this on 1949, when the population was probably less than half of what it is now.
You may not have business conducted.
Right, it sounds like there's, could be a struggle.
Please keep it at 50.
51.
Yes.
Who's going with 51?
Otherwise, nothing will get passed, am I right? What's the typical attendance?
Well, I mean, the one that we just had, we thought was going to be very heavily attended, and we have 111 people show up.
Which is very, that's twice the quorum.
Well, yes.
Right.
I can tell you that some of the people that I've talked to say 50, that means you get 50 cronies in there and
Yeah.
it should be more than that. But
Well, they
hey,
can
then
go.
come to the town meeting, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Town meeting authority and conduct, this is kind of what we're talking about in terms of behavior. But it's not really about behavior. In the first sentence, or first paragraph, it's got to do with what town meeting can do. This is the exercise of legislative powers. The town meeting voters have the right to do all of those things. Establish, amend, revise, or repeal rules, regulations, and procedures governing the conduct of annual or special town meetings.
So here's my question. Chucky, you scroll down a tiny bit. All right. So the town moderator controls really the flow of the town meeting, right?
Yes.
All right, if you go back up to the section that we just read, by the charter, town meeting voters shall be empowered to establish, amend, just move me,
I'm sorry.
or repeal any rules, regulations. So are you suggesting that
Through the moderator.
they can override the moderator?
Yes. Moderator, well, just take
I
a
don't
look.
know if I like that right now. I mean,
It's-
we said that he's controlling the flow. If you have 50 people and you get the cronies come in and they can just tell them, here's how we're going to run the meeting?
No, it's because the town moderator has one vote, and the town voters have at least 50 votes.
But he shall regulate all proceedings, decide all questions of order, and publicly declare the results of all votes. I see that to be in conflict with the two.
Where does it say publicly?
The presiding officers, 3-9.
Yeah.
The moderator
We're in
shall.
3-8.
I know, but one's in conflict with the other to me.
Why is it in conflict?
Because it seems to me that the moderator is the one that's controlling the meeting, but now you're giving the power to control the moderator to the people who are attending the meeting.
No. The town
Am I reading
moderator.
it right?
No, listen. Town moderator has rights that are established by statute.
Yeah.
Okay? Participants in a town meeting, if they don't like what the town moderator has done, they can make the town meeting call a vote to a request to change what he's done. Yes, the voters have a right to say to the town moderator, if the town meeting you know how it is that when you see this call the question all the time. Call the question stops vote, stops debate, and gets you into the point where, nobody can, after opinion vote. Do you think that 80 people who want to keep going should be required to shut up because the town moderator says, I've had enough, I want to get to the ballgame?
Well, no, that's why they put it to a vote then, but they're
Yep.
still in control. So when they get the results back, they go, okay, 80% of the people still want to discuss it more.
Yep.
And then they continue, but they don't necessarily run the meeting at that point.
No, they're not
Still
running the
wrong.
meeting. What they're doing is they're expressing, and the town moderator is running a procedure that they have requested.
Are you hung up with the governing?
I'm hung up with the whole
Yeah.
power struggle here.
Right, the
It seems
rules,
like
rules,
this-
regulations, and
We're giving them
procedures.
sweeping power. It seems like they can rewrite elements of the charter here. Right? They can change
They
any
can.
rule, regulation, or
They can.
procedure.
They can rewrite. We can have this charter up there, all right? And let's, God forbid, we have 12 articles up there, and somebody goes up and says, Mr. Moderator, I call to the attention section 3-8, and I don't want that to, or whatever it was. I don't want it to say 50, I want it to say 20. They can make a motion. The motion can be approved by, and the moderator will say, okay, it's got to be 60 because they want it. Can we have a vote on 60? The town meeting members have the right to change the charter. Whether it's a charter that exists, I mean, where do you think bylaws come from? Those are laws that are passed by the town meeting.
But this implies that, so, all right, we have 50 people. We're going to lose 5 people in 10 minutes.
Then
they do a vote, and they say, hey, we're going to change the quorum to 25.
No, you can't you have to have 50 all the way through. If it goes to 49, the only thing the town meeting can do is
No, but
adjourn.
what I'm saying is, hey, in 10 minutes, we're going to lose 5 people.
Yeah.
So in those 10 minutes, I'm going to make a motion that we only need 25 people
Yeah.
for the quorum.
And then,
This implies that you can do that.
and they can.
So you can change the quorum during the town meeting?
No, it would be effective at the next meeting, at the next town meeting, if it passed. Keep in mind that it would have to go to the legislature, or in this case, it would have to go to the Attorney General's office. Town meeting has got, and to your question, town meeting can do something, but it has to be reviewed by the AG's office.
Right, so here's my concern.
Okay.
And
We are at 90 minutes, just,
maybe you have addressed it in your last response. So if I'm the moderator and I am conducting the town meeting, does by paragraph 1 of section 3-8 give the voters there some power to control what I'm doing at that current meeting? Not in a future meeting, but in a current meeting.
Okay, give me an example of what you're talking about.
Well, similar to what Chuck said, so the town moderator says, we're going to do it by,
Clickers.
yeah, and then all of a sudden someone says, no, don't want them, I want to do it by hand count.
They don't do, they have to make a motion.
But regardless of whether it is, can they overrule what the moderator has just established as the procedure for that meeting?
They can make a motion. It would be in the form of, Mr. Moderator, I make a motion that we do not use the clickers. The moderator will say, do I have a second? I have a second. Okay. I have decided, I have the power, and then the town meeting has to react. The town moderator has a right to say, okay, we'll entertain that motion. We have a motion, we have a second. Okay, all those in favor of not using clickers say aye, or waves of card, or whatever.
Can the moderator say, no, I'm not going to
Yes,
entertain the
the
motion?
right to say yes implies the right to say no, yeah.
So then that still concerns me then, because they have the right to govern the conduct of all annual or special town meetings. It takes away the power from the moderator. That's how I'm reading it. I'm sorry.
No, the town meeting voters shall be empowered to establish. That means you're not changing anything, you're creating something. You're making a motion for the town meeting to make a decision. Amend means you're taking something that exists, that's when you're empowered to amend. Revise, the same thing, it's probably duplicitous. Or repeal a rule, regulation, or procedure governing the conduct of all annual or special town meetings. This is not on the contents, this is about how the town meeting is conducted.
No, I understand.
So he wants to say, no, I want a debate to continue. All right?
Yeah.
What, you want to end the meeting?
I would like to just respect the time that we asked us all to be here, and
Well, that's why we have it on this day, so we can go over. I mean, the 90 minutes, we're not bound by 90
well,
minutes.
some of us have, I didn't know it was
Well, then if you-
open-ended 90 minutes. I thought it was 90 minutes, so I apologize if we.
No, if you want to go, I mean,
I mean, I don't, do I want to, or does my wife want me to?
that's up to you. Then you decide.
I would
Okay,
like us
make a
to-
motion, and then we'll decide whatever he wants to do. I thought we could get through this one
I'd like
article.
to make a motion to.
We're not gonna get through it.
discuss Our meeting
in-
schedule for January and respect the 90-minute time that we had established.
Well, again, as I've stated several times, the reason why I try to get these things on Monday when the select board is in, so we can have some time to go. Now, I don't want to go to 10 o'clock, but, okay, is there a motion
There's a motion.
to stop?
To suspend discussion of 4 and move to section 5, decided in our next schedule.
Okay, so is there a second for that?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to stop here, and we're going to decide when we're going to meet.
My wife did suggest Tuesday, I don't know, Tuesdays are more flexible for our family.
Tuesdays don't work because then we run up against the select board, and we also run up against the fact that Tuesdays and Thursdays are no-go nights because that's when the police and the fire department have this room reserved. Those are not even, we don't even have a chance, all right? The select board can order they're having their meeting tomorrow, but we cannot be here on Tuesday. We can be here in the daytime, but that's not going to work
What about?
unless you can change that.
Well,
Sorry.
so it's not every Tuesday and Thursday, because like I have a CIPC meeting here Thursday this
Yeah.
week, and then tomorrow we have the select board. But the select board's generally on Mondays, and then, so I would just check about the availability on this from before.
Well, that's why we had to go to the library.
Yeah, I know that
People couldn't
was
come-
a special circumstance, but.
There's a calendar up on the bulletin board that does have the training room calendar. I don't know
Yeah.
how well used that is or not, but
Well, it's one of those things that people write things in. That's
So
why we
for
have to
January-
get permission to use this
Okay, give
room
my
every time.
right.
So should we just share our options, or how do you want to do that?
Yeah, tell me what
All right,
days
so-
you want, and then I'll ask for them, and if we don't get them, we don't get them.
Okay, January 5 and 6 work for me.
Okay, hold on a second, let's.
Nay, but I'm just throwing on some dates here.
So
For me too.
what date are we proposing?
Megan proposed 5 or 6.
5
Those
or
work
6
for me.
look good.
So Monday, the 5th, or Tuesday, the 6th?
I basically can continue the two, if we're sticking on Mondays, I have 2 Mondays. I can't do 3 Mondays a month. But so, Tuesday is, if the 6th was available, then if the room was available, that would be good.
Okay, so Paul, what are you proposing?
I'm not suggesting a specific date, which Mondays out of January. I've just been told that I am allotted, 2 Mondays per month, and then my partner will make their schedules for their Mondays based on what what we have. But
Okay, so
it
you're
does cause
available-
some hardship for us to.
No, I said, we're trying to make.
We appreciate that flexibility. but,
Yeah, completely.
So
Thank you.
any 2 if we can get 2 Mondays, you'd be available 2
Yes.
Mondays. Okay. Are you available any other days? Or
Tuesdays,
Tuesdays? Any Tuesday?
yes.
No more than 2 then?
I'm sorry?
Any more than 2? We're good.
No, I could do every Tuesday. I mean,
Oh, any Tuesday.
I'm not, but in theory, I'm not suggesting that, but
Oh, maybe this is easier. Maybe we just say what day we're not available. Or you're pretty flexible. I definitely can't do the 19th,
sure.
and I definitely can't do the 8th. And the 7th.
It's just so much easier in the military.
So I'm not available the last week of January. Beyond that, I can be available whenever you need. Night.
Okay. So if you guys can take those qualifications and give me 3 dates in January.
How about the 5th, the 12th, and the 20th? Is this room available on the 20th?
I didn't see anything on there for the 20th of January.
That would be,
So the 5th is a Monday, the 12th is a Monday, and the
12th,
20th.
there's a select board meeting, but
So we would have a 1-hour meeting on the 20th.
Hour and 15.
And
Not
that's,
with the select board,
Oh,
because they
it's
meet
not.
at, right at 6.
okay, so I try to schedule the 5th, the 12th, and the 20th?
I think so.
With the anticipation that on the Wednesday, the 20th, we would do a 1 hour, and then on the
12.
Monday, the 5th and the 12th, we would try to do no more than 90 minutes. Is that-
No, the 12th is the select board, so that would have to be
Yeah.
1 hour. The 5th and the 20th could be 90 minutes. If the 20th is available for the space, which would need to be.
And you want that to be, the 90 to be a hard stop?
It helps us, it helps my family to know when I'm going to be home, when to eat.
It helps me, it helps me.
To just have a hard stop, it does help me to.
That's perfectly understandable. Okay, with that being said, so we have proposed some dates.
Yeah, I mean,
The 5th, the 12th, and the 20th. I will attempt to see if we can get those hard scheduled.
And scheduling
The
it.
sooner we get in, the better off.
Right.
Anything else that anybody wants to add? That being said. Okay.
Want to make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Having heard a motion to adjourn, followed by a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It looks like the ayes have it.
Did he have?
Since I won't be seeing you guys until January, and there's a holiday coming up here, and there'll be some holiday in